Out of nowhere, Baldur's Gate 3 is adding 12 new subclasses to the game in patch 8 alongside crossplay and photo mode. This is a huge update. I'll be breaking down all 12 of the subclasses so you can see what you should expect when this gets launched in early 2025. Now, this is huge. I guess I'll just briefly go over all of the subclasses. So for the Bard, we get one per class. So there's 12 new subclasses for each class. We got the College of Glamour, Path of Giant Barbarian, Death Domain Cleric, Circle of the Stars Druid, and the Oath of the Crown Paladin, Arcane Archer Fighter, the Drunken Master Monk, the Swarmkeeper Ranger, and the Swashbuckler Rogue. I know this one is a very hotly requested. The Shadow Magic Sorcerer, another very hyped up one, and I think the most hype of all, the Hexblade Warlock, or even the Bladesinger Wizard. These two are probably the most hyped of them all, but we got some seriously great subclasses here that I think are going to make some fun additions. We even get ourselves like the Ill Omen Dog here. So I'll guess I'll start off first with the Glamour Bard. So what this one does, it's already in Baldur's Gate 3 as a mod, so we do already have kind of an idea what to expect here. But obviously, the difference between mods and official supported classes, there's a lot of difference there. So the College of Glamour Bard, basically what they do is they give us the Mantle of Inspiration. It applies 5 temporary health. This mod gives additional movement speed and also gives you a Song of the Charms humanoids. But the actual College of Glamour Bard, what this does is it gives the ability to give that 5 temporary health points. But whenever your teammates are attacked, it'll actually charm the enemy that attacked them. So if they got a double attack, they get charmed and they have to go choose someone else to attack. And then the Bard itself has the Mantle of Majesty, which can target charmed enemies and command them to flee, move over, freeze, drop to the ground, or drop their weapon. I think that's awesome. Being able to freeze a target is crazy because it's actually going to apply the frozen that gives them vulnerability to bludgeoning, force, and thunder damage. I'm curious to see how this one will come because the Bard, Sword Bard being one of the most OP classes in the game, it's hard to challenge it. Most of the other subclasses, like you can see here, I have a few different mods for the Bard here. None of them come close to what the Sword Bard is capable of doing. But I think this one does offer a unique flair, so we'll have to see how this all works out. I think that this is awesome. It does come with unique animations here too, as you can see. So all these classes will have different appearances and looks to them. So I'm so excited to see this. This is actually one of the craziest shadow drops that we've ever gotten in a game. But next we got ourselves the Path of the Giant Barbarian. I do have a mod for this, but it won't load for some reason here. But with this, the Bard gets the Giant Rage, which will enlarge your size and also boost your strength and deal additional damage with throw attacks. The Giant Barbarian's cool. Like the Berserker Barbarian was the previous Throw Zerker, but this one, the Giant, is also a very powerful throwing build. Pockets weighing you down, not for long with your increased carry capacity. The Path of the Giant, I don't have it currently here. For some reason, it disappears when I have other mods enabled. But basically, the point of the Giant Barbarian is you increase in size. When you're larger in size, you can pick up enemies and throw them. So the Path of the Giant will be fun to go around tossing enemies at each other and doing all sorts of crazy WWE style fighting. I've played around with the Path of the Giant Barbarian, as there's 2 different mods for it already out. And they're both really, really fun. I've had a lot. I've enjoyed the Giants Barbarian probably the most out of all the subclasses for the Barbarian. So I'm excited that they picked this one because I like being able to enlarge yourself because that just makes it fun. Like having Karlach run around throwing enemies and gnomes at each other is just a whole lot of fun. So excited to see that. Now the Death Domain Cleric, there's also mods for this. And this is one that I had a feeling if there was any Cleric subclass that would come to the game, Death Domain is one of the most popular. So with this, as a Cleric of the Dead, you get a few tricks up your sleeve from spells that specialize in necrotic damage to 3 new necromancy cantrips. This includes Toll the Dead. Now, Toll the Dead was previously added in as a modded spell. If we look here, I got the Death Domain. It's got your Bone Chill and all the usuals. But with this, it also has the Toll the Dead cantrip. This is part of Mistress spells. It does 1d8 necrotic and increases in damage to a 1d12 if the target's below half health points. Now, from what it sounds like, that's what it's going to do again here. So the cantrip has 1d8 damage. When the Cleric rings the bell of impending doom, the number that scales with your target has already been damaged. We've also added the homebrew ability to explode nearby corpses, damaging enemies. That's exciting to see, because adding in some homebrew to the game just makes it that much more fun. So there's also some other homebrew changes that we'll see here, and I'll go over those as we get to them. But if you squint really, really hard, you can see we do got a new icon for the Toll the Dead here, so that's exciting to see. Again, with new action and appearances here, I think that this is going to be an exciting one. So really looking forward to the Death Domain Cleric. This is one of my favorite Cleric domains. I did a build before mods were even out for PC or console in the patch 7, and I really like this one, so excited to see it. We also got this Druid Circle of the Stars. This one's exciting because there is a mod in the in-game mod manager that allows you to get the starry form. So that's kind of the big primary focus of this one. So when these Druid looks to the stars for answers. So whenever they go into their star form, you have 3 constellation choices with the Archer, Chalice, and Dragon. Each favors a different playstyle and strategy. The Archer dealing radiant damage with astral arrows. So whenever you cast a spell, you can cast a bonus action astral arrows, does radiant damage. The Chalice restoring health points to you and others nearby. And the Wise Dragon allowing you to deal damage with an additional bonus to constitution rolls. So you get additional. So if you use the Amulet of Greater Health, you'll basically never break your concentrations, which is nice. The starry form offers not just celestial aesthetics, but practical, powerful options to enhance your roles as a healer, fighter, or strategist. So the nice thing about this is, personally, my favorite of the 3 is using the Archer, because the extra radiant damage on your attacks is really fun to use. So you get a different starry form you can go into. They didn't show it off, they just have this here, but this looks cool. Like being able to like go into this animation and brings up a constellation is just awesome. So you can see here it will be similar to the wild shape. You got your different wild shape forms here, and then 3 different astral forms. Hopefully the increased level curve mod will be fixed, because right now it's not allowing the druids to go into their wild shape. But that's besides the point. I'm really excited for this one. The mod for this has been a lot of fun, so I'm curious to see how the actual class will come out and play. Now a new kid on the block. We got the Oath of the Crown Paladin. This has not been one that's been able to there's no real mods for this one. This one is really interesting. So you've been sworn to uphold the principles of law, stay true to your oath, and you'll be rewarded with the power to aid your allies and disrupt your foes. Guide your companions with the righteous clarity. Taunt your enemies with strategic interrupts. Keep your party standing strong with divine allegiance, absorbing their damage while restoring their health. That's pretty cool. I'm a big fan of the Paladin. This is my first class I played through the game with, so it's near and dear to me. Getting more Paladin subclass is great because there's not too much of a difference. Like, obviously the Vengeance Paladin is like the stronger one, and the Ancients is more so the healing. Devotion is just kind of floating there in the middle. But the Paladin's defining feature is Divine Smite. Having some different choices here with like the Righteous Clarity and Divine Allegiance, I think this might end up being the strongest base game Paladin class. We'll just have to wait and see, but I'm thinking this is going to bring a lot of great things to the game. In addition, the Arcane Archer Fighter. This is super cool because the fighter itself has a lot of fun ways to play it. You can play the champion and focus mostly on going through with your archer attacks. But another thing about this is the Arcane Archer gives us different arrow attacks that we can use. So there is already a mod that allows you to play this, made by Sumra Dagnoth, and it's been a blast so far. So here's the Arcane Archer mod, just kind of giving you an idea of what it gets. You get the Prestigitation cantrip there, but you get different arcane arrow shots. So the update here doesn't really give us a lot, but from this mod you get the banishing arrow, which makes it so you can banish the target if they don't do a charisma save. Beguiling arrow, which does a 2d6 of psychic damage added on top, and it'll charm the target, so it does your weapon damage plus that. Bursting arrow does weapon damage plus 2d6 of force damage, and it hits all targets within 3 meters with additional force damage. We also have the enfeebling arrow here doing 2d6 of necrotic damage, and it takes the damage dealt by its weapon attacks are halved until the next turn. And we have the grasping arrow, which is 2d6 of poison, and the target will take slashing damage on each of its turns, and reduces its movement speed by 3 meters. Piercing arrow, which fires in a straight line right through the enemy. Pretty fun. Seeking arrow, it's like a magic missile for your arrows, so you got the weapon damage plus 1d6 of force, and on a failed saving throw, it takes damage if it hit by the arrow plus an extra 1d6 of force. So this is nice that you can like kind of warp the arrow around. And then the shadow arrow does 2d6 psychic damage, and they can see further than 1.5 meters away. So pretty nice. From the description here, mastering the dual arts of magic and marksmanship, the Arcane Archer subclass offers unique skills on top of new shooting animations, which is cool. You can see there jumping up and shooting the arrow. Banish foes to the Feywild, moving them to the battlefield for a turn, or unleash a psychic damage that forces enemies to make a wisdom saving throw or be blind until the start of their next turn. So it sounds like they're going to adapt some of the similar actions here. You can't really see, but if you blink, there's different weapon actions. They may be placeholders, but they look just like normal weapon attacks here. We'll have to wait and see what this one looks like, because there are unique, in the mod, there's unique appearances here, but they may just look like normal weapon actions here. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Super excited for that, though. Having an actual dedicated archer class for the fighter is fun. Now, the monk Drunken Master, there's actually gear for this, so I was actually very surprised there was no like Drunken Master style monk. But yeah, we got it. So the foreshadowing was there. We should have known better. This is putting the brew in homebrew. The Drunken Master have the ability to consume alcohol straight from your inventory, as well as drink from bottles you see around the Sword Coast in order to recover ki. By sharing your bottle with your enemies using Intoxicating Strike, you'll generate a buff towards your armor class and your chance to hit drunk targets. Drunk enemies are also susceptible to the Drunken Master's other abilities, like Sobering Realization, which sobers up drunk targets, dealing psychic and physical damage. Stoked to see this. We have the Punch Drunk Bastard weapon here in the game, which allows you to do, it gives you bonuses when you're drunk, so it's actually nice to see. We've had gear that'll benefit this already, so to actually get a full-on class, that's just fantastic. And we also get the Ranger Swarmkeeper. So the Swarmkeeper provides the Ranger with 3 kinds of deadly swarms to assist him in combat. This one's actually very interesting sounding. So the Cloud of Jellyfish deals additional lightning damage, potentially shocking your target. The Flurry of the Moth deals psychic damage and gives you the potential to blind your target. And the Legion of Bees deals piercing damage and forces the enemies to make a strength saving throw or be knocked back 15 feet. Each swarm also has the ability to provide you with teleportation capabilities. Pretty cool. So with this, you can see there's extra animations here for this. Not sure if all these are placeholders. We may see different updated ones when it comes. I know there's actually quite a few people that want to see the Swarmkeeper Ranger come to the game. I've been getting comments about that, so I'm actually happy to see this be added. And I'm a fan of lightning damage, so the more lightning, the better. This one seems pretty fun. I'm just looking forward to it. But next is one of the, I guess, the next 5 are the most requested ones. So the Swashbuckler Rogue introduces a wide range of new actions to fit their piratical, I didn't know that was a word. Play dirty by tossing sand at blind enemies, flick your weapon at a target to disarm them, or using your fancy footwork passive when meleeing your enemy to ensure they can't make opportunity attacks against you for the rest of your turn. We'll have to see, because there is a lot of different rogue subclasses. There was a swashbuckler subclass and a pirate subclass. Both really fun. We'll have to see how this one all pans out, because the rogue is really weak. I'll just be honest. The rogue thief's probably the best thing, and then after level 3, you're better off probably multi-classing it into like the Gloomstalker Ranger. So hopefully the swashbuckler gives a reason to go all the way to level 12. We'll have to wait and see. But next we got ourselves a Shadow Magic Sorcerer. This one's cool. As a Shadow Magic Sorcerer, you take the form of magic that deals the deadliest in the darkness. The subclass gives a sorcerer superior dark vision, as well as the ability to shadow walk to dim light or darkness. It also has homebrewed the Hound of Ill Omen to harass your foes and use the Strength of the Grave to prevent you from being down. Ideal for those attempting honor mode runs. I have a feeling that this one's gonna be extremely strong. The sorcerer already is easy S tier in terms of strength, so being able to do some darkness shenanigans and get a summon with the Hound of the Ill Omen, who looks really cool. Mind you, it does look like Scratch, but with like some burning embers on it. I just think that that's such a cool appearance. I'm really looking forward to this class to get added. Now we got, again, the 2 most popular, the Hexblade Warlock. This is the #1 most requested mod for Baldur's Gate 3 in terms of class, besides the Artificer. But with this, there's so much that goes on with it. So the Hexblade, in the modded version of the game, we get ourselves the Hexblade's Curse and the Bind weapon at level 1. So you can bind your weapon and deal additional damage. From this, you make a pact with an entity from the Shadowfell that manifests in the form of magical weapons. Curse your enemies and force their souls to do your bidding. Slay any enemy that isn't generally an element of nature, construct, giant blob, or already dead. And you'll be able to raise their spear from their corpse for 10 turns. The new summon can deal necrotic damage and will rip away a chunk of your enemy's soul to provide your Hexblade Warlock with healing. Huge. I think this is going to be a fun one. The Warlock is kind of a good multi-class for a few different reasons. Going all the way to level 12 is a little bit weaker than like a Sorcerer at level 12, just because the Warlock only gets level 5 spells, but we'll have to see. Going Pact of the Blade, Hexblade might actually be a very powerful choice. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with this one. The Hexblade sounds really cool. Also has benefit of going level 12 to get the Life Drinker and deal additional necrotic damage on their attacks. We'll have to see. I'm curious. But now we also have the Bladesinger. And what I think is really cool is look at the attack animations. Casting from your sword, that's cool. I wish they had like wands so you could cast from a wand. I know a lot of Harry Potter fans would enjoy that as well. The blade singing subclass merges swordplay with wizardry. Expect new spellcasting animations when casting spells with your weapon. A new blade song ability to grant you supernatural speed, agility, and focus, plus gives you a bonus to constitution saving throws that you make. So the mod manager already has a blade singer mod here, which gives you like the blade song, getting a bonus to armor class saving throws equal to your intelligence modifier. Kind of similar, it says here it'll give you supernatural speed, agility, and focus, plus a bonus to constitution saving throws. So I expect some pretty big things to come from the Bladesinger, to be honest. I think this might be one of the most fun versions of the wizard to play. All of the subclasses have their own unique way of playing, but the Bladesinger is going to be the most different by far, focusing on weapons and sword play. I think that this is going to be a really exciting one, and also being able to spellcast is really cool too. But just look at that animation; that looks crisp and clean. Being able to cast attacks with your sword is super cool. I have to give a huge shout out here to Larian. This is one of the most exciting updates that I've ever seen for a video game, and this is all free. This could have been charged as DLC, but like, nah, you guys are the best. We're going to give you this. So shouts out to Larian. I just am so mind blown by this. Whenever I got the notification for 12 new subclass, I literally got goosebumps. I was like, there's no way. They're joking. This is a joke. They're talking about mods. This is official subclass support. So that is fantastic. But I can't wait for this to come. As I get more information, I'll let you guys all know. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video useful, please hit the subscribe button below. Thank you so much for the support. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.